The rest of the news Thursday, on the anniversary of the day when in 1607 colonists went ashore at Cape Henry, Virginia, to establish the first permanent English settlement. And what did they find to eat? Berries! And it's now known that eating berries helps to keep you from losing your mind. A new study is published in the Annals of Neurology and studied 16,000 women. Eating blueberries or strawberries just a couple of times a week keeps the brain nice and sharp. And to keep the body nice and sharp, eat some beets, what the English call beetroot. They're full of nitrates and are shown to significantly improve the performance of athletes. Athletes like dancers. Dancers who perform in a lot of music videos and are now represented by the newly merged AFTRA-SAG union, which may issue a do-not-work notice next month as part of negotiations for better pay and working conditions for dancers. Things like access to bathrooms and water. Affected could be producers, networks, and studios. The Wrecking Crew was a bunch of L.A. studio musicians in the 60s and 70s. The Wrecking Crew played on a ton of hits, and it's also the name of a documentary movie about them that premiered at South by Southwest in 2008. Release of the movie has been delayed, though, because of the expense of purchasing the rights to use the music in the film from all the different labels and publishers involved, 132 different songs from back in the day. This project is reminiscent of Standing in the Shadows of Motown about the Funk Brothers, but logistically more difficult. The Funk Brothers only worked for Motown, while the Wrecking Crew really got around. Yeah, they played on the Beach Boys records. Check out the New York Times story on the Rest of the News Facebook page. A new book will be out next week, the 1st of May, which is Tuesday, about the life of Jackie Kennedy Onassis. This one deals with her midlife after being widowed for the second time in 1975. A Washington Post story today lists 12 things that you never knew about Jackie, like she was a smoker and she did yoga. Of course, everybody back then who did yoga smoked. The big recall election in Wisconsin is June the 5th, pitting Governor Scott Walker against whichever Democrat wins the primary May the 8th. We now know that during the last 12 months of the organized labor busting and non-equal pay for women policies brought about by the Walker regime, Wisconsin has lost more jobs than any other state, a lot more. No other state lost more than 3,500 jobs during the past year. Wisconsin, 23,900. Now, almost 18,000 of those were in the public sector, whose lawful unions were destroyed by Walker. But over 6,000 were in the private sector, still almost doubling the combined losses of any other state. That story is in today's Christian Science Monitor. More and more cities are allowing people to keep a few chickens in the backyard, with the emphasis being on a few. So when the chicken quits laying, what to do? There's a new solution in Portland, Oregon, where folks who have become attached to their chickens can send them out to the country to live out their years in peace and quiet. It's called rehoming chickens to a nice retirement farm. And those farms are being a bit overrun, so now they're calling on cities to allow for more than a few backyard chickens. For example, it's just 3 in Portland. And that's right smack dab in the middle of Ecotoopia, the land that seceded from the United States in 1999, comprising Washington, Oregon, and Northern California. In the 1975 book Ecotoopia, embark on an astonishing voyage to a world of infinite possibilities. The book, Ecotoopia, predicted a world of recycling, locally grown food, and energy from the sun. Imagine. The author of that cult classic was Ernest Chick Kallenbach, who left Ecotopia last week for Utopia. Chick Kallenbach was 83 and lived in Berkeley. Come on back tomorrow. Thanks. This is Dan Earhart with the rest of the news.